Good morning, everyone. It is so good to at least half see you back in church today, with seeing half of your faces with your masks on. But it's wonderful to see you coming back to church and being able to share in this Mass with us once again. Before I begin my homily, I would like to just say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, the grandfathers, the stepfathers, and those of you who are father figures to so many. I'd like to wish you all a very blessed day and ask that God continue to bless you in the great work and the great service you do in being fathers to so many. Our first reading today is taken from the book of the prophet Jeremiah. And Jeremiah was a good man, a great leader, but he was a man called by God to do more. He was called to be a prophet, someone chosen by God to go out and spread his word, but also to talk to the people about what was coming in their world. And Jeremiah lived in a time when his nation, his community, was in crisis. It was a time when upheaval was taking place. One group was being replaced by another. And Jeremiah, as we heard in our first reading today, had gotten to the point of exasperation. He was lamenting the treatment that he was receiving because of the work he was doing that God asked him to do. His shoulders were heavy from the burden because he was being mocked, he was being ridiculed, he was being unjustly treated, at times unjustly imprisoned and ostracized from his community. And if you read other parts of Jeremiah, you'll know that when he got to this point of frustration, he said to God, God, why did you even let me be born? It would have been better if I had died in my mother's womb. He had just gotten to the point of exasperation and was ready to give up. But God did not give up on Jeremiah, just like he never gives up on each one of us. God reignited the fire in Jeremiah, and Jeremiah felt that, and he knew that he had to continue to do God's work, even through the troubled times, the crisis times that he was facing. My sisters and brothers, just like Jeremiah was going through a difficult time, our nation is going through a time of crisis. But like every difficult situation we face, every difficult time we face, that difficulty brings with it the opportunity for so many good things to happen. In our nation today, we face a crisis. We face a crisis when an entire group of people are treated as something less than the rest, who are treated as something beneath others simply because of the color of their sin. Our black sisters and brothers, unless we have put our heads in the sand over the past several months, we have seen how that mistreatment has raised its ugly head. We have seen on television our black brothers and sisters being unjustly imprisoned, unjustly treated, and even having their lives unjustly taken away by those who are charged with protecting them. Through this sinful stain of racism that has been part of our country since its inception, we have seen our black sisters and brothers treated so poorly. But we now have an opportunity. They are standing up, our sisters and brothers. They are peacefully protesting and demanding changes. Changes in the way we think, changes in the way we feel, and changes in the laws that need to be changed. And you and I, my sisters and brothers, we may never be able to fully understand what it is that they have gone through, because we have never been treated as less. We have never been treated unfairly because of the color of our skin. But it's up to us to be part of that change. Our black brothers and sisters cannot do it alone, because if we are not part of that change, then that change will never occur. We need to stand up for our sisters and brothers. But even more, we need to stand up with our sisters and brothers, shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm and be part of the call for this change. Because without us, the change will never occur. And we have an opportunity to be a generation who can be going down in history as the generation that erased this evil stain of racism from this great country of ours. But we have to be willing to be part of that change. And it won't be easy for us. There will be friends who will ridicule us as they did Jeremiah, who will mock us as they did Jeremiah, who may even try to harm us as they harmed Jeremiah because of what we stand up for with our sisters and brothers. But if we listen to the words in our gospel today from Matthew, we hear Jesus say, "Do not be afraid of those who can do you bodily harm." Do not be afraid. Be afraid of the one who can do you bodily harm as well as harm your soul by condemning it to the fires of Gehenna. Jesus says at the end of that gospel, "Those who abandon me and abandon my name, I will speak that to my heavenly Father in the time of their reckoning. But those who speak my name, I will speak to my heavenly Father." When our time comes to face the Lord, when our time comes to give an accounting to our God of our lives, will we be able to say we were part of a change that was so desperately needed? You all know that in my homilies, I always have an ask. My ask this week is this. A young friend of mine, a young black woman in her 30s, said this a few weeks ago. If you hear someone say Black Lives Matter, and your response to that is automatically all lives matter, you still don't understand. My brothers and sisters, that message is clear, is it not? Certainly all lives matter. We know that. But we don't have to say it. Because of the privilege of our color, we do not have to say that. We've never had to say that. But unfortunately, our black sisters and brothers do. Because their lives don't matter and have not mattered the way it should. Jesus calls us to love all of our sisters and brothers because we are all children of the one same God. So my ask of you this week is, think of what my friend said. And as you do, hopefully, the next time you hear someone say, Black Lives Matter, your response will be, yes, they do.